Cheers.
Welcome to Paint and Chat.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, for those of you who listened to episode 1, I talk about our baddie bestie who works at Emporium and loves his dog Kelly. Henry!
She's such a good girl.
First and foremost, this episode is going to be for festival goers, specifically Bonnaroovians. So just a PSA. We are going to paint our totem flags. But first, I want to give everybody a background before we get too excited and start talking all things Bonnaroo. So what's your elevator pitch?
So, Bonnaroo is not just a music festival. You can't put it into words until you've been yourself. That's kind of the biggest thing here. But it is the best environment of live and let live I have ever seen.
Live and let live?
Live and let live. It's 80,000 people just kind of doing whatever the fuck they want.
I love that.
But the big crux there is like, you have a great time, but you don't ruin anybody else's great time.
Yeah.
And if you can, you enhance their great time. And I think it's just a really cool collection of all these people with that kind of energy.
I saw like a Instagram post of just somebody random who had gone to Bonnaroo that said it's like the exact middle ground of what the world is and what the world could be.
That is an excellent way to put it for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know this. This will be my 6th this year.
That's
and
impressive.
4 of my 5 I've been to have been like with my dad, who he's the fucking man, obviously. But, you know, is a 62-year-old man at a music festival, and it just kind of like...
And he crushes. He survives.
Like nobody...
He's
obviously,
a GA
he doesn't
everything.
feel weird. No one else feels weird. Like, it's the greatest collection of people.
It usually lands over
planet.
Father's Day, too. Does it this year?
Pretty much every year, yeah.
Oh,
Sunday will be Father's Day, which, by the way, I have... I don't know if you remember this, but I wear a shirt that has my dad's face on it, and it says "Play Hard." My one from last year got way too dirty, so I had to make new ones this year.
Nice.
And I accidentally sent myself 2 of them, so I have to make someone else wear one.
Oh,
for Father's Day.
We should all wear them for Father's Day. Jay is daddy.
I could get more, honestly. I remember we gave him a Father's Day card last year, and at least like 5 people wrote in it like, "Oh, happy Father's Day, Daddy." I was like, oh my God.
And he probably has that posted in his man cave somewhere.
I hope he does.
Okay, so we should give a little background on the totems we're making. So they're going to be flags, like I said before. And totems are essentially just like a friend group's mascot for the week, or like weekend, I guess.
That's a good way to put it.
And my favorite part about it is people get really funny ones, and they also, once you start going to like shows, sets, you start to recognize all the other totems, and you're like, oh, our group of friends should be friends with that group of friends, because this totem is always here and we like the same music. And this year, we have a big enough group to do 2 totems,
Very
which
exciting.
is huge.
Very exciting.
And Henry's flag is going to say banger ? And mine is going to say hardly know. We're keeping it
So
classy.
good. So classy.
Do you have any background to give us for our decision on this?
Do you remember the first year we all went together when we would say after like every song like, oh, banger, 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 banger.
Yeah.
And I remember coming home afterwards, and there's like, you know, a massive Bonnaroo Reddit community. And they had this thread that was like, what is the most ridiculous thing you heard all weekend? And it was someone that was like, it was like from Flip Turn or something. I was like, I was at the Flip Turn show, and these people kept saying fucking banger after every song. And I just thought it was really funny. And I was like, that is awesome. That was
probably
definitely us.
Yeah. And so it kind of just turned into a joke. And Bonnaroo can be silly, so we're doing silly totems. So I do want to back up about you and your concert journey in general. When did you like get into going to live music?
Really like late college is when I started going to a lot of shows. I grew up going to like concerts here and there with my dad and like brother and mom and stuff. But like late college is when I got into like Houndmouth and Mount Joy and that kind of stuff. And that really like took my live music love to a new level. And then the first Bonnaroo I went to, I know we're going to talk about that at some point, but
Get into it.
the first Bonnaroo I went to was 2018. And
What made you want to go?
so it was like a pipe dream of my dad's forever growing up.
Really?
Yeah. So we would drive to Florida like almost every year, family vacation, and like drive by the farm on the highway. And like, I remember my dad always talking about like, one of these years we're going to fucking do it. And he did it for his 50th birthday with my brother and like my uncle, a couple of his buddies. I wasn't invited because I was like 16. Still bitter about it, but that's okay. And then after they went, and like it was clear it was the fucking coolest thing ever. We had planned for like years and years, like, all right, we're gonna all go back together and have a time.
So you went with your brother and your dad the first time?
First 2 years, Sam and my dad.
I think we should do a whole reunion. It should be your family reunion.
It 100% should be.
Do you remember, what's your most memorable show from your first time going?
I'm gonna have to talk about like 6 different shows because there's no one right answer, to be honest.
I do want to give a PSA though. One of the best things about Bonnaroo is that the lineup isn't one specific genre of music. So when we go with Henry, like we will have full days planned out where nothing overlaps at all. So Henry's most excited shows are completely different from mine, which are completely different from everybody else. That is like...
It makes it kind of fun.
It's so much fun because then you get to discover new artists and you get to see your friends like in their element.
In their element. You go to shows you would like never go to otherwise, and a lot of those end up being the best ones, I feel like.
I know. So sorry, I cut you off. What was your favorite from your first time?
So... the first year we went, we got there like Friday afternoon, missed Thursday.
Oh man. Was that one of the first years they did 4?
No, I think they've been doing 4 for a while.
Okay.
But it was still where like Thursday was all
kind of not
very small artists. A lot of like local artists even. But so we get there Friday afternoon, and the first show I ever saw at Bonnaroo was Sheryl Crow on the What Stage, and it was like... Instantly, it was like, oh my god, this is the fucking place right here.
Didn't she play like a couple years ago too?
Yeah, she played 2 years ago as well.
She was rollerblading around?
Rollerblading around, she was playing like an accordion just in the middle of the crowd. It was fucking incredible.
Oh, that's so fun.
So that was how I was welcomed to the farm. That was incredible. And then, like, this was a show I would probably never have gone to unless, at a festival it happens to be going on. We went to Paramore.
Oh, dude.
And I developed a massive celebrity crush for Hayley Williams. She's wearing this shirt that just says, like, pure pleasure. This, like, crop top shirt going fucking nuts. The whole crowd was, like, singing every song. That was incredible.
Didn't she play 2 years ago, too? Wait, tell the story about how she brought somebody out.
So cool. So she got brought out afterwards. It was Sunday, so like the last day on the main stage, last 2 sets of the day, it was Paramore, then Foo Fighters. And Paramore fucking rocked it, just like the 2018 show, like everybody's singing every song, like all the words. And then Foo Fighters comes on, and so the whole like show, Hayley Williams is talking about like, dude, I fucking love Dave Grohl. Like, you guys are about to see like this great show.
Is he the lead singer of the Foo Fighters?
Yeah, and he was like in Nirvana, so he's kind of like a big deal.
Oh, damn. I mean, kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
He's on the Foo Fighters and Nirvana, damn.
Yeah, seriously, kind of crazy. And they have this song called My Hero, which you've definitely heard before. It goes like, there goes my hero, he's ordinary. And he brought her out during that.
A bell, but it's okay.
Did you for sure have heard it before? It's in like tons of movies and stuff.
Got it.
But he brought her out during that, and she was like emotional, like, Dave, you're my fucking hero.
Aww.
And I was with my dad on Father's Day, he's my hero.
Oh.
And that was very emotional.
Aw, that's so sweet.
It was super fun.
Your dad is my Bonnaroo hero.
Yeah, seriously. I think he's everybody's.
Do you have any like advice for somebody that's going for the first time?
Yes. Do it your way.
Wow.
Try new things. Don't listen to some people's advice for like practical things, but like If someone tells you, like, don't go to this show, go to this show, it'll be way better. Like, do what you fucking want.
And don't be scared to go alone.
100%.
If you're at camp and everybody's getting ready and they're taking too long and you want to see somebody, just go.
100%.
Just go. You'll make friends there. Don't let that hold you back at all.
I was actually thinking about this the other day. I think I've only been to one show at Bonnaroo by myself, which I think I'm going to try to go to more this year. But that one show is probably my favorite show I've ever been to.
And it's a little memory with yourself.
Yeah. Met so many fun people.
Yeah, and there's just so much love there.
So much love.
I'm going to give a little bit of practical advice. Bring water, bring sunscreen.
Oh, you don't need that.
Bring a backpack.
You'll be fine.
Actually, let me think. Oh, I do have a huge piece of advice. Journal afterwards.
That's a good piece of advice for sure.
Journal afterwards, even if it's just talk to text. Just do it. You think you'll remember, but it's really fun to read back and be like, and there's just so many inside jokes that you get from the weekend that just don't happen on a day-to-day basis. They're just unique, they're silly, and
you experience so much just weird shit.
Yeah, in the span of 4 days. And it's just fun. It's just fun. Like, you want to remember how they came to be, and you think you will, but because it's such a unique experience, when you leave, it almost kind of feels like a dream.
100%.
Or like, because you're there the whole time, like you're camping. So it's almost like a little dream world for 4 days. It's also like ratchet. And I don't know if a dream is the best way.
I think it's a perfect...
It's a dream and a nightmare at the same exact time.
Perfect description.
And you just want to remember those memories when, I don't know, when maybe a couple years you can't go. Or when you're older and you want to just share them with people.
There we go.
Yeah, huge piece of advice. Who are you most excited for this year?
I think I'm most excited for Melt, which I feel like I said that to you guys a couple days ago and you guys laughed at me.
I don't know who that's during, and I don't know who Melt is.
It's so up my alley. It's kind of ridiculous. It got announced within like 3 days of each other that they were going to be playing Infinity Stage.
Oh.
And they're like
that's huge.
Yeah. They're like a 7-piece band, like horns and everything. So I feel like it'll be really fun on that.
Oh, I love when they have horns.
Days after it was announced, it was also announced that they were going to be opening for My Morning Jacket at all their shows out here. So I'm going to see them 4 times this summer, which
incredible.
I'm very excited for.
Henry is the king of I will see the same band till the day I die.
100%.
And he will just gain more and more bands that he will see for his entire life until he dies.
It's kind of tough. I'm up to like 6 bands now where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see them every time they come through here. And it's kind of a lot.
We went to like the Mount Joy just released their album. They will also be up on Bonnaroo. And we went to like their listening party here in Denver. It was at Recess. They just played it at the bar a day early before it came out. And I was talking to somebody and I was like, oh yeah, like our friends love Mount Joy. I think my boyfriend has seen them like 7 or 8 times. And Josh goes, I've seen them 16 or 17 times. I was like, oh damn.
That's so funny.
It is so funny. Which, kudos to you guys. A band that has a cult following must be, I mean, it's just so cool that bands have that power.
It is really cool, actually. They only get better.
I know, which is great. And I love that Mount Joy specifically has like really grown into being like a jam band.
Yeah, seriously, their shows are so much fun. They might be my most excited for at Bonnaroo, if I'm being honest.
Everybody I think about, I know they're during, well, I feel like I have to see Tyla. She's so hot.
Yeah, understandable.
She's for the girls, you know.
I'm probably not going to go to Tyla, to be honest with you.
It's okay. I'll let you know how hot she is.
I appreciate that.
That's what Josh said. He's like, damn, she's so hot. I was like,
take a picture.
Sometimes it feels weird because she's like young. But just in the sense of, I don't know, she's a good dancer. She's just somebody I wouldn't see.
Yeah.
That I would like to see. I don't think I would buy like a ticket if she came and did a stadium tour.
I feel like that for me this year is Insane Clown Posse.
That sounds
Kind of
terrifying.
excited
Do you
for
think people will be dressed in clown costumes?
It kind of seems like it, yeah.
That's scary. I don't know about that. Bonnaroo might
just wanna
have the
see
power
it.
to make it happy and okay, but I think that sounds really scary.
There's, I'm not on Twitter anymore, unfortunately, but back when I was on Twitter, I followed this one guy who was a very proud juggalo, and his name was like,
Is that what they're called? Juggalos?
yeah, juggalos and juggalettes.
Wait, I love. They've got.
And his whole,
girls.
this is so ridiculous. His whole Twitter thing was that he was a freelance stuntman, and he would just like set up like a bed of tacks off of like a trampoline, and then like hop off a trampoline and land on his back on these tacks. But he did
crazy.
Yeah, it's super crazy. But he did a video about juggalos and juggalettes, and apparently they're the nicest people in the world. Is
Wow.
what I learned. They're very friendly to each other.
I mean, I feel like that's somebody who listens to like screamo or like really intense music always end up being like the nicest, chillest
It does kind of seem like that.
people. Not all the time, but
More than you'd think, for
more
sure.
than you think, yeah. So I do have a question. When the Pacers are in the playoffs at Rue, would you sacrifice seeing Melt to watch the Pacers game?
Oh, yeah. That's not even a question, to be honest with you.
I don't even know why I wrote it down, honestly.
Yeah. Stupid question.
Henry is a huge Pacers fan.
Okay, this is a ridiculous thing. Not that it even matters, it's probably embarrassing more than anything, but I would venture to say there's probably not 10 bigger fans of the world than myself. And two of them would be like my brother and dad.
For specifically the Pacers or for basketball in general?
Specifically the Pacers.
I honestly would agree with that.
I fucking love them. I can't remember if I said this to you, but if it works out where the Pacers make the NBA Finals and so do the Thunder, Game 3 would be the Wednesday night of Bonnaroo in Indy, and I think I would go to that instead of the first day of Bonnaroo. And then just drive straight to you afterwards.
I think you should.
It'd be a dream come true.
I mean, we will be in a spot this year that doesn't require having to like, when you camp, you usually have to like drive in next to who you want to be near. But this year we'll be in group camping. Wait, what's our camp called? Slightly Rupid?
Slightly Rupid.
Stop by if you happen to be listening to this and or happen to be going to Bonnaroo. And if you see these totems, honestly, say hi.
And if you see the totems, yeah.
But that way, we have a big enough group, like I said, so we can just drive into our spot, which is huge.
Super
because the
nice.
logistics of Bonnaroo, having to fly in and get everybody like in a line of cars at the same time it's a lot. But it's important because you do want to be, camp life is, I mean, it's where you wallow together about how bad you feel and how hot it is.
Yeah, right.
And you should do that with your friends.
It's fun to wallow.
It is. Okay, so we were talking about the Pacers. Henry told me the most important part of this episode is that he wanted to explain why basketball is the ultimate creative medium on planet Earth.
It is.
And why it's a metaphor for life.
It is.
So please.
This is going to be so all over the place, so bear with me here. So, okay. First off, I think that if you don't look at something like basketball purely as a medium of art, you're foolish.
Okay, why? Because I don't watch, the only gateway to basketball in my life is you.
Yeah. I'm happy to be that for you. I think about this a lot watching the Pacers specifically. This is going to take some backstory here.
Okay, go for it.
So, they're in the conference finals right now. They're really like in like a real chance to like maybe they can win it all this year. For the first time probably in my lifetime at least, where I feel like, I don't know, we have a legitimate chance. And the team that we have, like the NBA is such a unique professional sports league where like they really only care about their biggest superstars. And like the superstar is more important than the team.
I was talking about this with Josh yesterday.
Yeah. Like very different from the NFL.
I just feel like a basketball, there can be one superstar to like carry the team a little.
A little bit. I think to a certain degree, for sure. The best, like, at least for me, this is like a very niche basketball opinion, but like, the best players are guys that make the other 4 players on the court with them better.
Ah.
And there's a lot of ways to do that. The Pacers right now, we have like an all-star guard who like everybody loves.
What's his name?
Tyrese Halliburton. And I love him too. I think he's great. But he's not like he's not like LeBron James, you know? Like, he's not like one of those guys where he is the team. He's going to score 40 points and we win, or like he scores 20 points and we lose. Like, that's just not.
Is that like Nikolai? Is he that?
He like
Jokovic?
He's somewhere in between because he plays like super unselfish basketball and makes everybody around him so much better.
Yeah, love that.
But he's also like so far and away always the best player on the court that like it's kind of in between, I guess.
He doesn't mean to.
Yeah, like certainly doesn't mean. He makes everybody around him so much better, but like you know, it's he plays well or they lose.
Yeah.
In this Pacer team, they just have like 10 guys that play super well, super hard, and like play for each other, if that makes any sense to you.
No, it's good. I totally get that.
And I don't know, like you just watch them against like different teams and like nobody cares if they score, they care if the team wins. And that's like kind of a rare thing anymore, I feel like. But I guess the point with the whole art thing is like there's so many different ways to express yourself on a basketball court. And how you play the game and like how you interact with your teammates, how you interact with like opposing teammates and opposing fans and stuff. It's like cinematic almost. It's like a fucking movie universe. Borderline reality TV.
I guess I could see from a standpoint of while they're playing, if something's not working, it'll inspire them to try something else together, maybe?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, we open the window, so if you hear people screaming outside,
you hate to see it.
It happens. Okay, so where were we? We were talking about
basketball.
I'm
gonna keep talking about basketball, but pivot within that.
Okay.
So, you know, I have a track record of mental health issues.
Yes.
And
would you consider them issues? Struggles?
Either one, I think, is fair for sure. I mean,
obviously they're issues. Sorry, that was stupid.
No.
Like, is it bad to try and rebrand it? Of like, you don't have an issue.
I don't think that would be the worst thing, but I also am not. Like, it's an issue, for sure.
Fuck, sorry.
Dude, no worries at all.
I didn't know if it was going to be like a cute little rebrand moment. Yeah. Which it's like we're literally talking about mental health issues. What am I saying? I'm going to get canceled.
They're not issues.
Sorry,
we should rebrand it. I'm trying to think of something else to use. But
mental health things you live with.
Mental health opportunities for growth.
I'm sorry, it's a serious topic. It is.
It is pretty funny though, let's be honest. But okay, I had this like, this is so ridiculous, but it kind of like breakthrough is not the right word to use, but like kind of breakthrough-ish thing with my therapist, where we were talking about how like, you know, stuff where like you have to take care of yourself before you can like take care of others and shit like that. And to circle back to the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton. So he gets shit a lot. He's a true point guard. What that means is his job is to pass the ball to other people and put them in positions to score.
Okay. That's what a point guard is?
Traditionally, yeah.
Okay.
And he's like the best in the world at that. The best passer probably in the NBA. Like makes the whole offense go kind of deal. But he's also like he's like one of the best shooters in the NBA.
Oh, wow.
And like when he wants to, can be one of the best scorers in the NBA. But a lot of times gets too kind of caught up in like I'm the point guard. Like, everybody else scores. It was a big thing for him last year where, like, you got to find the balance of, like, when do I score and when do I let everybody else score?
That would be hard.
Very hard. And, like, this year, he kind of figured it out.
How long has he been with the Pacers?
3.5 years now.
Nice.
And, like, the record for the Pacers this year when he shot the ball, like, 20 times or more was, like, we went, like, 25-3.
Wow.
I'm kind of making these numbers up, but it's something like that.
What does 25-3 mean?
Like, 25 wins, 3 losses.
Oh, damn.
So I, like, use that as a metaphor for myself. Like, yeah, like, I get caught up in, like, I don't want to be, like, a burden to anybody, stuff like that. And, like, I want to make other people's lives better. But, like, the team is better when I score, is, like, what I framed that as in my head.
You also always make the team better.
I appreciate you saying that.
No matter what.
But that was, like, and then I went on this whole, like, for weeks and weeks where I was making metaphors for life out of all these random basketball things. It was kind of...
Do you have any more one-liners?
No one-liners. Everything requires way too much. Way too much.
Any more punchlines?
Basketball shit. One big thing I thought was you can't defend Nikola Jokic by yourself. It's why you have teammates.
That's true.
And the metaphor there was like, yeah, sometimes you can't go through a depression by yourself. You need your friends to help you. You need your family to help you.
Yeah, you do.
It's making Nikola Jokic depression is the metaphor there.
I kind of am on this, like, because I mean, basketball is a team, and when you put it in terms of life, like, your friends are your team, your family is your team, and if you got to sit out on the bench, you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's your time to take a shot and you miss, that's all right.
Yeah.
You
got your teammates there to rebound the ball and get it back to you. Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
Does that make you want to watch Game 4 of the conference finals next week?
I like watching with people who, like, my biggest thing is I like watching with people who know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Like, I like when you give me the history on it.
Yeah.
I like that you're passionate about it. I mean, obviously, I'll, like, watch the Pistons if they're good.
Sure.
Obviously, we live in Denver, so what is it, Jokic?
Jokic.
Yeah. Is fun to watch. Like, I'm never opposed to watching it, especially right now. Like, I will get hyped about it. I would love to, if they play while we're at Bonnaroo, like, figure that out and watch it.
We're going to use Josh's projector and have a whole watch party.
Yeah, I think that's, and I think we should tell everybody. We should put a flag up 100%. Or something. Yeah, like, I just like when people get passionate about their teams.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I just personally never grew up with it. Like, my family was a race car family. So...
Kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, so we never had sports on. We always had, like, races on. And obviously I don't have, like, a specific race car driver I'm obsessed with.
Do you ever watch, like, the Indy 500 or IndyCar racing?
No.
Yeah. I can't say, like, I actually know anything about it, but
if I'm home, like, my dad will have it on just in the background. That was, like, our background noise growing up. And I feel like we grew up with one TV in the living room, so it was always on, and, like, we'll have, like, car auctions on.
That's kind of cool.
And he knows, like, the history of the cars and stuff like that. So that was just my world growing up. My mom will watch baseball.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Aren't the Tigers pretty good? I haven't really been watching.
Literally no idea.
Like yeah.
My dad will watch football. But really, when it came to basketball, my friends in high school liked basketball, and that was kind of when LeBron he was playing for the Cavs, Ohio.
Yeah.
And we would, like, go to Pistons games to see him.
That checks out for sure.
And, like, they were all passionate about it, so it was fun. But I always found, in high school specifically, and, like, college, I didn't care to go to the games unless I knew somebody playing.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I'd rather see somebody I know.
Understandable, honestly.
Like, I would rather go to, like, an IM sport
Like watch
to
your
watch
friends.
a friend.
I think that's fair for sure.
But I can see, like, if Josh was very, very passionate about, like, he is a little bit about the Colts.
Yeah.
Like, once you get to know the players, like, obviously you know the players. Like, you know why this is a big deal. He's been working it. He figured this out. Like,
Right.
That's when it starts to get fun, and I can see that. I just personally am not dating somebody that's obsessed with it.
I feel like he's coming around on the Pacers fandom. I feel like at the end of
Oh,
this, he's going to be.
at the bar we were watching.
I was going to say, he's going to be.
Yeah.
He's going to be all in year round like I am.
We'll see. I like that you specifically, Josh does this too, you carry that information into every part of your life. Like when you see shows, you're like, I did research on the band. I know like their come up. I know where they came from. They just got a new guitar person. This album is about this. And it makes going to shows and just anything, if you know the background on it, just more fun.
Totally agree with that for sure.
I just personally am never going to do it.
Yeah.
That's something where I want to turn my brain off. And I'm just like, lead me there. Tell me what's going on. It's not something I'm going to like do on my own.
I know way too many useless facts about stuff like that, but it's so much fun to know them.
And I will say, you do say to me a lot, this is way more information, but I enjoy the information. So you never need to think about that with me.
That's good to know.
Because I enjoy that stuff. I just like history.
I like history too. Did you know I was a history major for like 2 semesters?
Way. Yeah. I like history. I just love to learn. I mean, history is, I like putting myself in like somebody else's shoes or thinking about life.
Yeah.
I don't know, like back then, I guess. Other people's upbringings.
Are you familiar, this is ridiculous, but are you familiar with Sporkle? It's like online sport, or not sports, just quizzes, trivia quizzes about like anything. I used to, like in high school and college, spend like hours a day just doing these old NBA history quizzes. And it gave me so much useless information today. Carry with me today.
How's it going?
I think okay.
Amazing. It looks great.
Yeah.
This is black too, if you want to do that next, when you're ready. Okay, so we now have the fun friend game.
Oh, very nice.
So I do the fun HFF friend game where I reach out to our friends. I also reached out to your family members.
Oh my.
And asked them their burning questions for Henry, Hank the Tank. So Josh wants to know, what is the moment at your first Bonnaroo that you knew you were a lifer?
Easy. It was at First Aid Kit with my dad. My brother was at some
Is
EDM
First Aid
show,
Kit a band?
Yeah, they're I think they're Swedish folk duo. These girls, they're fucking incredible. And I remember, like, the set itself was just awesome. I think it was at this tent, and I go off to the bathroom, and when I'm walking back, there's like those little picnic tables, and this couple, they were probably like 40, both like 40-ish. They stopped me, and the dude was like, "Oh my god!" I was wearing a Pacers jersey. Who would have thought?
Crazy. Henry could go 365 days wearing like a new Pacers article of clothing every single day.
That's actually probably true, which is insane. The dude stopped me and he's like, "Dude, go Pacers, are you from Indy?" And he was from 20 minutes away from where I was from. And I sat at this table with this couple and like smoked a joint with them and hung out for like 10 minutes and then just went back to the show. And it was like, I don't know these people's names. I'm never going to see them again. But that was just like a really cool fucking 10 minutes. And it was after that where I was like, yeah, this is pretty much the coolest place I've ever been.
That definitely encapsulates the spirit.
Yeah, it really does. What about, do you consider yourself a lifer at this point? I feel like you should if you don't.
One of Josh's requirements for dating him is that I'm a lifer and that we watch every season of Survivor when it comes out. Which are two, I love telling people that because they go, those are pretty good. I'm
I was
like,
going to say, yeah.
Pretty easy requirements to meet.
Everybody's a winner.
Yeah, I would consider myself, I still want to go back to Electric Forest as well.
Yeah.
Between the two, yes. I will try and go every year. Bonnaroo specifically, maybe, when I realized I was a lifer. So the first year we all went together, it was like 40% capacity. It was,
Yeah.
And it was enough for our group to have walkies, like walkie-talkies. And just after that first night, we just each became like the main character. That's what Bonnaroo is. 100,000 people, 100,000 main characters. That's what it is.
That is such a good way to put it.
And we each gave each other like nicknames so that on the walkies we could walkie-talkie each other. And were you Hank the Tank?
I think it was Hank the Tank.
Hank the Tank, this is Trippy Vicky, Hank the Tank. And we would just walkie to each other, and I was like, this is just silly. And everybody's name kept like spiraling through the weekend. Like Josh was Cool Beans, and then he was Krusty Beans. Then we just started calling him Refried. We're like, Refried, get us another beer. Just the silly like memories you get. And I have one from each festival I've been to. Like, that the nicknames specifically were when I was like, okay, I want to, every time you go, it's a new thing.
Yeah.
And you can't recreate it ever. And like knowing that going into that, I think it's fun.
100%.
I do think though, like once we start having children, we will literally drop them off to Josh is from Indiana. You get to stay with Grandma and Grandpa for the weekend. Bye. So I think, yes. I don't know if I'll actually go every year in terms of like...
Shit happens.
Yeah. But I will definitely make an effort too.
I was thinking about this. I don't know if there's anything that would keep me from going, honestly.
A child?
Yeah, but like...
You just figured out.
You know... If I'm ever like trying for a child, I would plan around Bonnaroo. I'm not even kidding.
Josh would too.
Yeah.
Oh man. Unfortunately, that's not how it works, but you can definitely keep it in mind.
You can try.
We just totally got off topic. Okay, Keller wants to know, what's the biggest sacrifice you would make to win a Pacers championship?
Oh my. Wow. I'd say anything short of Kelly. I'm not even kidding.
What about one of your friends? Would you sacrifice Keller?
100%. I think he'd be mad if I didn't.
I agree.
Real quick, how should I outline this?
Oh.
Do I need just like a new cup for the black paint?
No, you can. Black is thick enough that it's fine.
Yeah.
Quinn wants to know, who would you most want to hang out with, dead or alive? And what's one question you would ask them?
It's Bill Walton for sure. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
He is a former NBA player. He's passed now.
Oh man.
But you would actually fucking love him. He went to like UCLA and then played in Portland for like the first half of his career. And he was known as like the first hippie in basketball.
Ooh, love.
He was really famous because he was really good at basketball in college, but like became kind of like nationally known because he like wrote like a letter to Nixon, like saying he was going to protest, not play basketball to like end the war in Vietnam and stuff like that.
Oh, damn.
And he was a huge Deadhead and would tour with them. Really interesting guy.
What would you ask him?
How's it sound up there?
Oh, wow.
He has an autobiography. It's my favorite book. It's called Searching for the Sound, Shining the Light and Throwing It Down. And the whole like crux of it is like, in life you just got to keep the music going in your head. And like, that's what it's all about.
Oh, I like that.
So I'd ask him how it's sounded.
How it's sounding?
Yeah. He's a really fucking cool guy. You should read this book. I'll give it to you sometime.
Perfect. Keller wants you to power rank Laffy Taffy flavors that you have to eat for your blood sugar levels.
Great question. Banana is last. My brother, who's also type 1 diabetic, was allergic to bananas, which, fair.
Yeah.
But like, for some reason that meant he couldn't eat banana flavored Laffy Taffies. Doesn't make any sense to me.
That doesn't make any sense.
So I'd have to eat a disproportionate amount of banana ones and
Oh wow, that's funny.
I know, it's ridiculous.
And it really good for you?
A little bit, yeah.
What's your favorite?
The strawberry for sure.
I like the apple ones.
Watermelon, whatever the apple ones are really good too.
Nice. I feel like I knew somebody that was type 1 in like elementary school, my friend's brother. He always had Smarties.
Yeah.
Your choice is Laffy Taffys?
I went through a Starburst phase. Laffy Taffy for the most part. Sometimes Airheads.
Oh. Well, your dad also wants to know, who would you rather take to dinner and why? Susie Green, Elaine Bennis, or Cheryl David? I don't know any of those people.
Easy Elaine Bennis. Not even close.
Is that the guy you just told me about?
These are all characters from Seinfeld and or Curb Your Enthusiasm. Elaine Bennis is who.
Does she have the big hair?
She's got the big hair.
Oh,
me, Josh, and Riley wore Elaine Bennis dresses and danced like her at Bonnaroo last year. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, your brother Sam.
Damn, dude.
Wants to know, how has Miss Rachel impacted your personal and professional life?
She sparked a creative juice in my brain that I didn't know existed. That's for sure.
Did she inspire you to make those videos?
She inspired the first one.
Do you want to explain the videos?
Yeah, so the last 2 years for Christmas, initially just for my nephew, who is now 3, but now for my niece as well, who is 1. I make them these videos. And the first year it was, so Miss Rachel is like she does these toddler learning videos, I think just on YouTube. And last year for Christmas, I watched one of her videos and like made all the songs and stuff about things in the kitchen. I don't remember why I decided the kitchen, but it was just kind of like a random, I guess we're doing the kitchen. So I had our friend Quinn help me make these videos. Episode 6. Help me make these videos where we would sing these ridiculous songs to my nephew about like, you got to clean as you go in the kitchen. Don't forget to do that.
Aw.
And then this year, so my nephew is, I don't want to say he's drinking the Kool-Aid because I think he's interested in this just all on his own, honestly. But he's a huge Pacers fan.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, right. Who would have thought? Knows like all the players and everything. So for Christmas, and honestly, my niece too, like she doesn't really have tons of interest yet or anything, but like she loves having a basketball in her hands.
Aww.
She loves anything that makes Bobby happy, so I think she kind of by default likes the Pacers too.
And Bobby's like, we like the Pacers. She's like, okay.
Pacers. Yeah, pretty much. So I made them a video that was the history of both the Indiana Pacers and Indiana Fever, who is the WNBA team. And, the first video was like the kitchen one was like, I don't know, 8 minutes long and like, palatable for a 2-year-old. But I let the Pacers and Fever one really get away from me, and it ended up being like 50 minutes long. I don't think they actually watch it very much. Yeah. It was actually 4 parts, which is insane.
We had a viewing party this year for Henry's birthday.
Red carpet.
We all wore, red carpet. We rolled out a red carpet. We all wore Pacers outfits, catered by Henry.
That was so much fun.
And it was so good. Okay, your brother also wants to know, are you a guys guy? Gueye?
A gays gay?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
What's that?
Of course I'm a gays gay.
What does that mean?
This is just a little window into my world here, VP. But Mohamed Gay was a Frenchman NBA player who was drafted like 2 years ago.
Okay.
In the second round, really late. He's probably played less than like 50 games in his career at this point, I would say. Not very good. But me, my brother, and his buddy Adam Kehoe love Mohamed Gay, so we are gays guys.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we wanted him to be a Pacer very bad.
Your nephew Bobby wants to know, what's your favorite Paw Patrol character?
Oh, damn. Ryder. He's the only one I know. And it's the guy. It's not even one of the dogs. It's just the guy.
He's a character.
He's a character.
That counts.
Bobby's a huge Paw Patrol guy. He's got all the characters, little action figures, and lines them up.
Oh, yeah. Wait, this is so cute. My niece, they were born I think within a month of each other. My niece and his nephew. And she's obsessed with Frozen, as most young children are. And my sister will explain to her that I live in the mountains. So in her little 3-year-old brain, she thinks I live in a castle in like Elsa's castle.
That is awesome.
And every time I come home, she'll be like, is she traveling from the mountains? And my sister will be like, yeah. She's coming all the way. I'm
so
like,
funny,
she literally thinks I live in the snowy woods.
Like literally in the frozen universe.
Like literally in the frozen universe. It's so, because that's, you know, as a child, it's like, that's how you explain, those are mountains.
Makes sense.
Like, those are mountains. I just love thinking about what little kids picture when they think of adult lives. Because usually they just think, your life is catered to me.
Right.
Like, when you're in my world, that's the only time you exist. It's very funny to imagine what they think.
Bobby knows that I live in Colorado. Mm-hmm. But I don't, like, he certainly has no idea what Colorado is, I don't think. But I'm going to see him next week. I'm going to ask him what he thinks my home looks like. I think that'll be very interesting.
When my nephew was little, I asked him if he thought, because he would always say, like, Alexa, play whatever. Like, we had one of those Alexas. Or like, Alexa, set a timer. And I was like, I feel like I should rewind a little. When I was younger, before flat screens were a thing, we had one of those, like, big, thick TVs. And I thought a TV was like tiny people putting on a performance.
Like they just live in the box.
I thought they crawled through like the wire. My mom would be like, that's the TV wire, you know, outside. And I was like, oh, they come in through there. They come into the TV and then they put on a performance.
That's really funny.
And so I thought everybody thought that. That is not the case. Not common.
Yeah. I didn't think that.
And so I asked my nephew, I was like, do you think there's a tiny person inside the speaker? And he was like, no. And I was like, what about a Tesla? He goes, oh, well, yeah, Mr. Tesla lives in the steering wheel. I was like, I knew it.
That's so funny, actually.
'Cause he was obsessed with Teslas for a while.
Understandable.
Cars that can drive themselves.
Pretty cool.
Would be pretty cool as a kid, yeah. Okay, cute. Oh, those are all my questions. So in the first episode, I was talking with Haley about what I should call my followers, because I was thinking about the beholders, because art is in the eye of the beholder, but I feel like the beholder's a little crazy. Have you given this any thought?
So I did. It was really tailored towards palette talk.
Okay.
But it was going to be the palette pals.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Painting pals.
Or the painting, dude, that would be really good, actually.
Just call my pals.
You could probably do that without, or like with the name change too, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's what inspired it.
My first 8 episodes, it was called Palette Talk. I went to a pregame, just out of curiosity, asked people how they would spell palette, and every single person spelled it wrong. And I was like, okay, maybe we're gonna change this name. Everybody was spelling it like the construction palette instead of like a paint palette. How would you spell palette?
P-A-L-L-E-T-T-E.
It's P-A-L-E-T-T-E.
I've spelled it wrong every time I've looked it up on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So I was like, oh, I should just change. And that's what this is, painting and talking. So makes the most sense.
It's a very fitting name.
Okay. Before we start listening to music, obviously these won't be for sale because we are going to use them and they're probably going to be absolutely destroyed. If anybody wants them, message me.
We'll sell them for sure, yeah.
But Henry still feels passionate about a specific charity and wanted to share one. So
yeah,
I want to give you that opportunity still.
I appreciate you. So I'll give a little backstory here. I'm type 1 diabetic. And when I was diagnosed when I was 2 years old, I was taken to this children's hospital in Indianapolis called Riley Hospital for Children. Like really, really good children's hospital. And they it's kind of weird to say they saved my life because obviously who knows, but my blood sugar was so high that if I'd come any later, good chance of going into a coma and who knows what happens from there.
Wow.
So this hospital, I would say, I used to go and talk about my hospital experience at these events, and I would say yeah, they saved my life. Let's raise money for them. But I did these fundraisers called Dance Marathon, which are nationwide things that a lot of colleges and high schools do. Fundraisers for children's hospitals that are within, it's called the Children's Miracle Network.
Did you do them in college specifically or just like throughout your life?
College and high school. Like the high school I went to had like the biggest dance marathon for any high school in the country. Indiana was like the first dance marathon for a university, so like they're kind of big deals, I guess, in those communities.
I mean, Josh did them. He always talks about it.
Right. Like thousands and thousands of kids would do them. And like in college, we'd raise like millions and millions of dollars. But the charity specifically I wanted to talk about was Carmel High School's Dance Marathon, the high school I went to. It's not anymore, but it used to be run by this teacher named Sarah Wolf, who was a ceramics teacher. And she is probably, like even remaining to this day, the most impactful person on my life of anyone that like I don't share a last name with, probably.
Oh, wow. Why?
So I spent 3 years like on the executive board for this group in high school.
For the dance marathon?
Yeah. And like she was running those, so I would be like in her classroom all the time. Like my senior year, half of my classes that I was like actually registered for were with her.
Okay.
And it would be shit like, this is so crazy, but I was an independent art student my senior year.
Oh, love.
And like the deal with that was like all the art teachers got to pick one student that was like probably going to go to college for something with art, and like they would just have the whole year to do whatever, and like you get graded on whatever that was. So I would go to her class.
Program.
Honestly, super cool. She like didn't have anyone to pick like actually for that, so she was like, do you want to be my independent art student? We can just like hang out. I was like, fuck yeah. So I was her student, and she like made me a chip and dip bowl, and I painted it, and that was my project. But this is deep and emotional kind of, but when I, like my last year of high school was like the first time my mental health stuff like kind of really started poking up. Nice. And I'm spilling so much on myself.
That's okay. Just be careful not to touch your clothes.
I appreciate that. But she like legitimately became one of my best friends, and like was someone I would talk to about stuff like that as it was kind of happening. And like to this day is one of the only people from home that I still talk to.
Wow.
So in honor of her, I want to raise money for this hospital through that medium. If anybody feels like they want to donate money to something,
I'll still link everything and stuff.
I appreciate it.
Isn't it so cool that some teachers can have that much of an impact?
Dude, 100%.
Like, we have a teacher friend, she'll be on after this. And I'm just like, wow, everybody, hopefully, I hope, has like that one teacher that like impacted their life. And it's just so cool that from what I've experienced, most teachers that go into teaching is for that purpose.
Right.
Like, if you can change one kid's life, it's worth it.
100%.
It's so cool that that's like an opportunity for like a third party mentor.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, super cool.
It's
like
so
actually,
cool.
yeah, like it wasn't just for me too. Like she has a ton of kids that she taught that would say similar things about her, which I think is super fucking cool.
Queen.
Honestly.
Wow, I love that for you. I love hearing that. I hope I get to meet her one day.
That would actually be really cool. I feel like there's a chance that would for some random reason happen.
When you go home, do you see her?
So she's moved up to Chicago in the last year. Before she moved up there, I would see her pretty much every time I went back. But obviously I've not seen her in a while because I never go to Chicago.
I've been wanting to go to Chicago.
Why? I kind of don't like Chicago.
In the summers, I feel like it's a fun little trip. But
That's
every
fair,
time
for sure.
I land back in Denver, I'm like, get me home.
Yeah.
Too much city for me.
Too much city.
Too much city. I just feel like it's not like concrete jungle enough.
It's not the concrete jungle.
It's not the concrete jungle, but it's also not small.
Yeah.
Like, Denver's a very good size, I think, for me.
The last time I spent a significant amount of time in Chicago was like right after college. I was staying with some buddies, and it was in the middle of winter.
Oh, God.
And, you know, they just have like street parking. So I park on the street. There's like, 4 feet of snow on the sidewalks. And the next day I come out to get my car, it had been towed.
Oh, God.
And there was, a no parking sign, but it was literally under 4 feet of snow. Like, you couldn't see it.
Oh, my God.
So after that, I was like, I fucking hate Chicago.
Yeah, definitely. It's just too much.
Too much.
I'm thankful that I didn't end up going there. I think it would have tainted my experience on cities.
Did most Michigan State people go to Chicago afterwards?
So Henry, like you heard, went to Indiana University. I went to Michigan State. It was a very common thing to move to Indiana.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, to Chicago.
Yeah.
After school. That's definitely a common thing. And we had a lot of kids, like, in Michigan State that grew up in Chicago. Because I think Michigan has the law where, like, a lot of people from Chicago have houses, like, on the west side of Michigan, because it's really only a couple-hour drive. So people have, like, cottages on the water, and they'll use, like, that address to go to.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. It's going to be really funny seeing these two together.
Do you want to listen to some music?
I'm down for it.
Are you happy with the way it turned out?
I think so. Yeah.
Recognizable in a large crowd at Bonnaroo?
I think so.
Perfect.
I can read it.
So again, these won't be for sale. We'll still show you, and I'll still link Carmel Dance Marathon into the description of everything if you feel so inclined to donate. All right. Ready? Ta-da! We should switch up.
Banger.
Ready?
Hardly know her.
Wait, and smile. We get close to the camera and smile. Perfect.
Ridiculous.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.